have each other's email. We have each other's email, right?
That's right. I mean, honestly,
do?
if somebody has a Zoom account, you guys can meet without me. There's no reason why it has to be me.
We're not meeting without you.
Oh, okay.
But Adria, and all the other classes were recorded.
Yes,
Yeah.
So, and I have access to that.
yes. Yeah, they're on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh, on YouTube?
yeah, they're on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, that's
But
what
not
happened.
today, huh? I assumed today was getting recorded.
It is now.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had
Oh,
paid
what?
attention. No, that's okay. I got my own laziness. I thought you were recording, so
Oh,
I might have jotted a little bit down.
oh, sorry. Yeah,
No
no,
worry, no
I was
worry.
being lazy today, not recording. Okay, so, all right. Well, Ellen, thanks so much. Great to have you in class, and we'll record this. Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about collage. So, I'm trying to think if I actually have a video, but I think honestly, let's just talk about the possibilities. So first of all, we've really been focusing a lot on composition in this class. That's really, I feel like we've honed down on it in a way that I really haven't really done in any of the classes that I've been doing, and I think it's been, really helpful. I've noticed a change in how people react to, just in general, your composition and being able to talk about what works and what might need some work in order to hold it together. So that is so key when you're talking about collage, because what you're doing is starting with a blank sheet of paper or starting with something, and then you're adding to it. Collage is actually, and I just read this fairly recently, and I should have known this, but collage is only about 120 years old. It began, no, I'm going to say about 100 years old. Yeah, maybe a little older than that, because people didn't collage as part of art making before like the First World War. Did you even think about that? It's very new. So this, this huge sort of modernization, industrialization, and post World War I time in the art world sort of spurred people to try all sorts of new things, like the old ways of doing things. The fact that we had photography, the fact that we had film, this just shifted everybody's idea about what art was, who could make art, right? It started to be, something that people who didn't necessarily have the academic training, didn't follow the old master's way. Suddenly this became something that, was more people could take a part of. But one of the early one of the early collagists was, I'm going to say Juan Gris, Gris. And I don't want to spend a lot of time in our class right now, but I'll send you these names and you can look them up yourselves.
Good.
And the counterpart of, well, Picasso did some, Cubism was a way in which collage really, sort of found its feet. And the other guy, Braque, I'm forgetting his name anyway, but so it's new and it's kind of exciting that it hasn't been around all that long, but my gosh, it's certainly taken off. And who would even know that, it wasn't even that old. So, but you have, in terms of talking about composition, you have what you already need. So what I would suggest is that you go to some of the jellies you made this semester, this time, and pick some that you're not terribly in love with, or that you feel still need some work, or you're not sure about. Just pull them out and use those as things that you can cut shapes from. That's what I would do. And maybe remembering that video that I showed last week, which was just taking pieces of cut paper, cutting shapes out and sort of rearranging them, is a really great way to begin. So I guess I would start there. I would suggest that maybe you could start on a white sheet of paper. I mean, in some ways that's harder because you have to cope somehow with a very blank sheet of paper behind it. if you wanted to, you could do what some of you have already been doing, which is to take a brayer and roll a color, just roll a color on there and let that be the basis to start working with some collage shapes. But why don't we do that? Start slowly. Don't like, there's many different kinds of ways of approaching collage, but this is sort of plan A. Take a sheet of paper, maybe a 8 by 10, even a piece of printer paper, something that you have, low stakes, so that you're not afraid of it. And then take, put a color on or not, and then take some of your past prints, start cutting them up, start rearranging and play. How about that? And you can think about what does make an interesting design is similar shapes, small, medium, and large.
Okay.
All right, go for it. And let's just see what you come up with. If you don't want to glue, you can just take pictures and we'll sort of end maybe in about a half an hour and throw them up on Padlet.
So these are just shapes. This is like abstract, totally.
Abstract shape, that's right. I think that's a great way to start, just to kind of get your feet wet with it. And of course, you can take it so many different ways, but you all have the basics. You all know what you need to know in order to start to collage. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to be here. Just reach out if you have any questions as you're working, but I'd love to see what you come up with. And everybody is muted, and if you want to just turn off your video, if you don't want to be seen while you're working, that's totally fine. I don't mind. We'll work about a half an hour, let you know when to stop. Okay. Was it?
His wife died end of March.
Goodness. We have about 10 more minutes to work. So just keep that in mind. And it's not about the finished product. In fact, you could take pictures, several pictures of unglued collage ideas, and would love to see those. So once you take pictures, just throw them up on Padlet and we'll take a look. Okay, let's start to put your work up on Padlet. Like I said, you don't have to glue anything down. You can put more than one piece or a couple pieces, couple possibilities up there on the Padlet to look at. All right, everybody. So come on in and unmute yourselves and we'll take a quick peek at what we've been up to. All right, I'm just going to go right over to Padlet. Go ahead and unmute so we can all be part of this conversation together here.
There.
Great. All right, so let's see what we play with here with this whole thing. All right, let's see. Sarah is on top here. Let's just check out what you've been up to. All right, taking some of these swatches and arranging them. Yeah, so Sarah, what was this experience like for you? What did you gain from doing this? What sort of thoughts, what did you learn?
I don't know. I always learn so much when I start collaging stuff.
Yeah.
I find it's such a fun way to work because
Yeah,
it like
is.
allows me to totally like just think about composition and
Mhm.
color and also use scraps that are lying around.
Exactly. No, it's really such a, and I think it's also very freeing because somehow, constructing the shape feels very different than from having to control a paintbrush or any of the others. I love the freshness. I'm a big collage fan. I think that, this is great. And it's fun to look at the way your pieces changed here. Is this the last one you did when you added the blue? Or
Yeah, I put that on the back and then I did another one over here, like a yellow and green right there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
I don't know. One of my favorite things to do, I've realized, is using like negative shapes that are left from something else that I've cut. I
Yes.
find that just like, I don't know, it's sort of just, what can I make with this? Or it's totally random. And I like that.
Exactly.
So I don't know, like I love this one. Like
Yeah.
I think it's,
Wow.
I love that those were just like, I had cut shapes out of the yellow. And so it was just left like that. And so I was playing around with placement on the paper on top of a green, just print.
Oh, see that, yeah, that's such a good idea. So
Oh my gosh.
the yellow is cut out, so it's like a peekaboo,
Oh,
where the yellow is the biggest shape, not the first shape. She's not gluing onto the
Wow.
yellow. It's the other way around. So that's really, really fun to do. That's what I'm doing in my little painted sculptures that I'm doing right now. Is I'm using the leftover pieces cut out from the bigger stuff, and it's just such a easy, fun thing to do, so the negative shapes are as interesting as the positive.
Yeah, you just end up with something totally different than like what you originally intended, but like some variation, you know, whatever I was trying to do with that yellow, this was the scrap left. And I don't know, I love working like that. Like I
Yes.
found that a lot of times the collages that I make that I like the most are from those, rather than like the piece that I cut out thinking,
Right.
oh, I like this shape, I'm gonna do something with this shape. It's sort of that forcing you to just play and not, you know,
Very
sort of that
cool.
idea of like, I'm gonna make something beautiful right now. It's like,
No,
no,
I
just
mean,
make.
that's true. You know, it's such an interesting thing to,
Interesting.
yeah, be careful not to put these, you know, to not over, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
not to superimpose, you know, these restrictions on you, you know, but anything is fair game. Everything is fair game to be able to use as a, I don't know if I said that right, but anyway.
So
you guys
the
get the-
green is rolled out underneath and you see it through the peekaboo cut holes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, great, really fun to see that, Sarah. So we're not going to spend a long time because I do want to get to everybody, but it just, you know, this is really a matter of, look at this, that's really interesting. How did that person do what you did? Let's see. Katie, we'll see you here. Okay, yeah. So
Oh, well.
what did you learn from this one?
Well, I just took I took a big piece of paper and I just rolled out some paint on it.
Yeah,
I cut out shapes out of this one piece that, you know, was kind of, you know, a throwaway, I considered. And gee whiz, there's my flower. I can't get away from realistic, right? But it's still, but for me, you know what? There's a randomness to us. There's a freshness to the lines.
yeah,
You know, as I'm putting this on, I'm feeling like this is like a journey inward to the center. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
And
nice.
I like that. That just helps me with my work, that brings it forward. What is this? It's a path inward. How one affects, when I place down one, how it affects the other. And, you know, so it was fun. And
yeah,
it was
yeah,
yeah.
that's great, Katie, for sure. Yeah, no, you know, all these things we learn
colors.
from them. And it's interesting. to pay
negative,
attention-
positive too.
I think to pay attention to some of those things that we come up with that really resonate. And I would say, you know, it would be interesting for you to look at Tibetan mandalas, you know, and mandalas shape things from other cultures, because that's what you're talking about. I mean, in a way, it almost becomes a mandala because it's a centered, focused thing, maybe not, you know, planning to use it that way, but that's just really interesting, you know, and what has that meant for other cultures and how do other people
Interesting, yes.
traditions, you know,
absolutely.
make form.
I love the colors in this.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't it? I mean, it was totally random, messy.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little, Katie.
That
But yeah, no, there's a lot to recommend it. It's a freshness to it and a kind of a emotion, you know, rather motion is what I meant. All right, super. Let's see, Kate. Oh, let's talk to you about your triangles here. Great. So tell me what you learned, what do you think about here?
Well, you know, I'm gonna move these like 450 million more times.
Sure.
But,
That's fun.
but,
Yeah,
but, you know, leaving white space, using the cutout,
yeah,
you know, I mean, I cut these from a jelly print a couple of jelly prints that I was very disappointed in. And what's interesting is as I cut them out and sort of start to feed them together, I really like the colors, and I like how it potentially might work out. I mean, it's a little busy as I look at it now, but you know,
yeah.
it's just it was just a very free. I didn't think about it. I just went for it.
So you were trying to go with your gut.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just was
Yeah.
cutting, and then I'll work on the composition. I think it's, as I look at this, it's much, I think it's too busy at the moment, but
That's a possibility, in which case, you know, that's why not gluing down is great. And this is part of the adventure of it. I will say, just pay attention to how these shapes relate to your edges, because that
Yeah.
you know, is part of everything, right? Yeah, just maybe you do want one of these to touch right at the edge, that's something that
Yeah.
you think about, but yeah. Because these are important, like this, the negative space is as important as the painted shapes, and they are
Yeah.
equally important. Yeah, good, excellent. Let's see, who else do we have up here? Mary Ellen. Oh, okay. Here you go. You're cutting and reassembling. What did you learn from this exercise here today?
Hmm.
I kind of went off of what Maddie had done with
Aha,
her piece
yeah,
and
uh-huh,
having the black and then having the different shapes.
yeah.
This way here reminds me of a bicycle,
Yeah.
which was not at all my intention.
Right, no, but you
Um,
also can see it, as just as shapes. I mean, there's something about bicyclic, but that's, I prefer to sort of stay in the realm of, it could be anything, and
Yeah.
instead kind of read it, as negative, positive, and how it all works on the page.
And this is the same thing, just in a different orientation.
Yes, so
Mhm.
we don't see
Um,
it's a bicycle, yeah, which is
right.
actually one of the hints, if you want to get away from always seeing something in your work, turn it in a way that kind of defies.
This is actually the way I took the photo to begin with,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
somehow the iPhone flipped it. So
Oh.
it was,
sideways.
so then I just retook it this way.
Uh-huh, okay, good,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
the circular thing at the top there,
uh-huh,
Yeah.
that's, I had taken a collage class online last summer,
mm-hmm,
and it was to create shapes in a monochrome kind of thing.
uh-huh,
So I just have been using those to
Yeah.
cut shapes out of my jelly print to get
Wonderful.
unusual things, or to use them
Oh,
printing in the jelly plate to get unusual shapes. So that's where that comes from.
that's a great
And
idea. And I
yeah,
can see that
How are
this is
you,
the
what did you say,
inside.
cutting shapes out of what?
I had taken a collage class, and I've taken the shapes that I got from that class and cut them up to make stencils.
Oh, I see.
Either print them or cut them out of the jelly stencils, jelly plates, prints.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So they're like leftover kind of shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why, it's so great to hold on to some of these, and they become stencils, and you can use them, reuse them. And then actually, when they get a buildup of interesting colors, they become beautiful collage elements themselves that you can use,
Mhm.
in another way. Great, Mary Ellen. Let's see, what else do we have here in terms of collage? Katie, is this part of the collage, or this is just part of your other series there? Oop, Katie, you're muted there.
I'd like to see that. I don't think we saw it.
No, I know, we
before.
missed
Just
it.
a
I'm just
Peek
wondering
at it.
if this is part of the, I
Colors
don't think
are
this is part of the
interesting.
collage thing. Yeah, but this is another interesting one that she did here. Katie, you're muted. Katie's muted. We can't hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit though, so it
I'm-
might be,
I'm having a hard time with,
yeah,
I haven't, there's
yeah.
something wrong with my,
Okay. Well, we'll just, I mean, that was, I just want to actually look at any other collages to look at. Let's see, Maddie, did you send anything to me via
Didn't,
email?
But can I just, no, no,
Okay.
but can I just say,
Yeah.
when I was doing something, all I had was like jelly on deli
Yeah.
paper. And it was like. what-
Not ready to show. Okay, no worries, no
But,
worries. That's
but
fine.
what I did get out is when you said play, like every piece of paper is so sacred. And when you
Mhm.
said play, I just started to cut. And so that was really good.
Very good. That's the key. Yep, just kind of letting go and going for it without
And
your
I don't have to
preconceptions.
save every paper. I can
Yes,
use
because
it.
they're all wonderful, things that you can use in other pieces. Exactly. You never throw anything away. That's
No,
the. one of the
and
things.
once I have it, I save it. I don't want to use it.
Oh, well, you gotta use it.
Yeah, nothing's that precious, right?
Yeah.
I know.
All right, everybody. Well, I think, we did a lot of good work today. It was really great to hear your, thoughts about moving forward. I hope you all do. And I hope I see you in some future class or, meeting in person, God forbid. I mean, that would be, Kate I see all the time. Kate don't have to worry about, but because Kate and I see each other at the dog park. But the rest of you, I'd love to see. Sarah, I hope you come to see my show, and anybody else who's around.
So,
Thank-
are you going to be
Will
doing
you
more
email-
classes?
Will you email
Classes?
about your show?
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. A couple of people are talking. Wait a minute. Wait, Sarah, what did you say? A couple of people are
Will
talking.
you email the information about your show? I would love
Sure.
to come.
Sure, yeah. What did you say? And Maddie,
Wait.
what did you say?
Are you doing any more classes?
I
What's
will
your
be.
next?
Yeah, I don't have anything lined up. I'm going to take a little break this summer. I'm going to be doing that week-long workshop in Concord, Mass, on sculptural painting, which should be fun. But I don't
Well,
have anything lined up.
Ellen and I are both in Woodstock area, so, Zoom is better for us.
I
But
know,
if
I know.
talk about doing this private or
Yeah.
semi-private.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be in touch. Bye, everybody.
Great,
Meeting
thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Great to see
you all.
everybody.
Bye.